The true history of this country is this country was built on racism. Okay.
Well, I mean, the world itself is still just racist, but the United States.
No. The world itself is not racist. This country is racist. There is discrimination in the world. For example, in Northern Ireland, okay, like here in our country, if you're Catholic and I'm Protestant, there's no big deal. No, who cares? In Northern Ireland, it's conflict.
Oh yeah,
that's not racism. Okay,
that's tribalism.
Okay, no, it's religion. Okay,
but it's tribalism. So I'm not going to try to be an expert on the Irish Republicans and the Protestants, the Catholics, and the Orange Order or anything, but at least having been there and covered this, both sides of this, it's not about Protestant or Catholic. That may be what it's described as. But you notice really weird things. One side's pro-Palestine, one side's pro-Israel. One side believes in socialism, one side believes in capitalism. One side is pro-militaristic imperialism, one side is anti-intervention. What happens is two different factions hate each other and they adopt whatever the other side opposes. And so tribalism emerges where I asked on the piece...
Isn't that what we're experiencing right here, right now with Republicans and Democrats?
Right. That's why it's...
Is that tribalism?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That's why.
By your definition, okay.
So when they say Candace Owens is a white supremacist, something is wrong, right?
They said I was a white supremacist.
Something's wrong.
I don't always agree with Candace Owens, though.
Right. So the issue is, for me, I don't think race is the principal component of the divide right now. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. I'm saying in a separate issue, we have a problem of tribalism in this country. And I think, just not to derail you, because I was mentioning...
It's all right.
When you mentioned Northern Ireland as being religious, it's tribal.
It started as a religious conflict that became more tribalized over time. That's same with politics in the United States.
Let's go from Northern Ireland to Lebanon. Okay, there it's Christians and Muslims. In Israel, it's Jews and Palestinians. Okay, so these are religious discriminations. You wouldn't call it racism. In this country, it's racism. Okay. You know, people were bought and sold. People were owned. This country was built on a two-tier society, white supremacy at the top and slavery at the bottom. That's what built this country. And as we progressed over the decades, we progressed like this. Well, maybe like this, but never like this.
Is it fair to say the Native Americans were on the bottom?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they were
absolutely they were on the bottom. Absolutely.
You know. I don't know
from
if we should
trailer
make it
tears and etc.
I don't know if we should make it a hierarchy.
And to this day, we still discriminate against Native Americans. You know, there are a lot of phrases, that you don't even realize that are pejorative or derogatory. Like, you say, man, that guy went off the reservation.
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from?
Right.
Or it's none of your cotton picking business. Where do you think that comes from?
Well, that one we all know.
Okay,
that was like Foghorn Leghorn, man.
Or he comes from the wrong side of the tracks.
So Daryl, you're president. How do you deal with this?
Who's my president?
No, I'm saying theoretically, if you were president.
If I was president.
If you were president, how are you handling this?
I'm having more talk, more discussion. I'm the same way I'm handling it right now. I bring opposing forces together.
What about specifically in terms of reparations? What would you like to see?
What I would like to see, A, is an apology, okay? And B, reparations in terms perhaps of education, tuitions. Not necessarily be handing out people money necessarily, but provide people the means to get a great education, all right? Because that way you can help uplift yourself.
What do you think? Let's go back to the abortion thing. What do you think about the history of Planned Parenthood? Are you familiar with it?
The history of it? No, I'm not familiar with the
Margaret
history
Sanger was...
I know the name, but I'm not familiar with
She was a eugenicist, and one of her... we can't say the name of the project she created because it uses an iteration of the N-word, which would get us in trouble on YouTube. But her idea was to go around to the black community and start propagating birth control practices to stop black people from having kids.
Let me tell you something. My mother was a victim of that, okay? There was a big scandal back in the 50s where doctors were systematically giving women hysterectomies, and in order to cut down the black population.
That's right.
And my mother was a victim of that. And you don't find that out until, 20, 40 years later, just like the Tuskegee experiment, just like Agent Orange. The government doing all these kinds of things, and you don't find out about it until much later.